How to answer most common job interview questions. How to answer most common job interview questions with sample answers. These questions will help you learn about yourself as a person and as a professional. If you understand what the interviewer is looking for, you will be able to give the right answer. We are going to go through some of the most common interview questions and answers. We will explain what the manager wants from you as well as give you sample answers you can use. Those are the questions you are bound to hear at just about any job interview, whether you are an intern or a senior professional with a decade of experience. They are going to ask you questions to get to know you and your abilities. In addition, they are going to ask you questions about your strengths and weaknesses. Tell me something about yourself. They don't need your whole life story, but what you should aim for here is to present yourself as the ideal candidate for the job. How long have you worked as a professional? Can you list the achievements that are relevant to the job you are applying for? Here are some examples of what one can say about himself. Tell me a little bit about yourself. How hard is it to talk about yourself? We do it every day without much thought. This is usually the first question asked in an interview, so it serves as your introduction to the interview. Make sure your answer is relevant to the position for which you are applying. I have been working as a business analyst for 5 years in both Company X and Company E. My career has been pretty impressive so far, if I say so myself. For example, at Company X, I led a project for migrating all operations data to a new data warehouse system to cut costs. I am a recent graduate of the university. I know my way around a lab and have had multiple opportunities to put my knowledge into practice as a chemistry research assistant. The lab feels like home, which is why I would love to work as a lab assistant. I'm very responsible and passionate. I'm also looking forward to putting all the things I learned during my time at university into practice. Are you considering other positions in other companies? If you admit to having interviews with other companies, it might be that you are not dedicated to this one. They probably ask because they want to know if they have competition in hiring you. They also want to know whether you are serious about the industry and are legitimately looking to be employed in this field. If you have other interviews lined up for other companies, express that you keep your options open but that you favor this job in comparison to the others. What kind of work environment do you like best? Which work environment do you like the most? This question will assess whether you will fit into the company's work environment. It's okay to work in different environments. Before you go to the interview, you should check out the company's website and social media pages to get a sense of the vibe. If you know someone who is already working there, ask them to give a review on Glassdoor. Where do you see yourself in 5 years? The interviewers want to know if you have realistic expectations for your future career. The answers in your seat and as the big man are not good for the interviewer to assess if you are an ambitious person or not, and if you have realistic expectations of your career. The motivation behind this question is in general, I want to reach the position of senior business consultant in 5 years. I want to accomplish the following during this period. Why haven't you gotten your master's degree? The interviewer is trying to see your reasoning for pursuing a career instead of getting a degree. Don't say you were lazy or didn't feel it or that it was a waste of money. You wanted to see whether your field was the right one for you to give compelling arguments. Then you didn't have the money. I wanted a career that could have a lasting impact on my life. I might eventually decide to pursue a master's in software engineering, but at this point I really don't see the point in that decision. I think practical experience matters a lot more for software engineering than a degree. Why have you switched jobs so many times? It's a red flag for this management. For the following reasons, companies tend to be suspicious. You might just be a job shopper. When they get a better salary, some people switch jobs. Then you get bored, and your solution is to stop. You need to make them aware that you will not leave after a few months because of a better offer. You should explain the reason why you changed jobs. The company culture wasn't a good fit. Sometimes, for the best of us, the company just isn't right. The company in which you were hired wasn't a good fit for you personally. You will have to communicate that. The job description was misleading, and you ended up doing something you didn't enjoy or weren't qualified for. You simply did not enjoy the job and are not willing to try something else. Her manager will understand that this is an honest and likely answer. Why is there a gap in your work experience? Most of the time, a gap in your work experience doesn't really mean much. In any event, the interviewer will ask you about it, and you should answer appropriately. You should be very subtle. If you were laid off or quit and had trouble getting a new job, you are going to give them the upper hand in the salary negotiations if the interviewer knows that you are struggling to find a job. If you had a baby and had to take maternity leave, just explain the situation and move on. What if your father was sick and you had to take care of him full-time for a few months? Do you have any serious medical conditions? The interviewer wants to know if you have any medical conditions that could impair your ability to do the job properly. If you have a health condition and it has nothing to do with your career, you can simply choose not to answer the question. Of course, you may want to disclose anything that could potentially affect how you perform. When a job requires you to lift heavy boxes, for example, and you are not able to do so because of a condition, you should tell the manager. It's okay if you don't have serious medical conditions. Any medical condition that affects your job performance should be reported to the manager. If you have to disclose a medical condition, you have to tell the interviewer. What would your first months look like in this role? This question is likely to be asked if you are applying for a senior or leadership role. The probability is that, at this point in the interview, you know very much about the company and your future career. Show off your knowledge in your field and explain how you are going to start making things happen in the company. You probably need to know the company first. If you are interested in learning more about the company, what does it do, and what are the key processes, then this question is for you. What are the current problems and challenges in your department? You will start making things happen. Show a few things that you think are going to work better. By 2020, online ads will be performing better. Email marketing operations will be more streamlined, requiring significantly less manpower to accomplish. You help the team with their ongoing marketing initiatives. You suggest improvements to the company's email marketing strategy. Why should we hire you? How do you sell yourself? In this case, it's a good rule to stay away from extremes. Do not oversell yourself as the best salesman you have ever met. I am a great fit for the position because of my experiences and achievements. So make a general statement. Here are 3 general points that you can list. How can you help the company solve their problems? How do you sell yourself without looking like an arrogant pig? Do you think that you are a good fit for this job? Do you think you are able to do the job? Think you have the skills and experience to do the jobs? Do you think you are passionate about working for the company? How your skills fit in with their needs? You will be helping them solve their problems. I've managed several project teams at my university. What is your greatest weakness? Candidates are aware that this question is a favorite among hiring managers. This is a carefully prepared and faithfully recited answer that you end up with. The candidate will talk about a weakness that is minor and unimportant for the position even if he answers truthfully. You will admire them for their sincerity, but you won't be closer to finding out if they're right for the position. Alternatively, please describe an experience of failure in your previous work. This question could also be anticipated, but its greater advantage is that it can't be easily faked. Candidates are required to discuss situations that can be verified and require details. Great storytellers may still get there, but you will probably get more truthful answers than that. Do you have any questions for us? You want to show enthusiasm about the company with this question. The questions should not be too difficult. It could also be an indicator of whether you really want to work there. List some of the most important questions you can ask in an interview. You will hear this question in every interview you will take. What's your favorite thing about working in this company? List some of the most pressing issues that need to be addressed in the future. Tell me the best thing about working for a firm. Can you list the most important skills and qualifications that one must have to succeed in this position? Do departments usually work together? Do you celebrate your birthdays or retires in the workplace? Do employees hang out outside of work? Thank you for watching. Do subscribe, like, and share.